People in some cases make storytelling this tactic. And, I liked where we started with this, which is, I think if you're going to be I'll just paraphrase this. I think if you're going to be a really great storyteller, it comes from the place of genuinely wanting to move people in the right way. And if you can start there and you could embellish a little and you could, add some color and you can, splash it up, awesome. But it's always an effort of moving forward and never as a tactic.
Yeah, I applaud what you said. It's the authenticity of really caring versus in the case of the Trump University, simply manipulating.
Absolutely, right? Because manipulation is easy. Scams are scams. Cons are cons. Like, I think this world needs more authenticity. It's, I was talking with someone earlier. The word authenticity for me, is starting to be butchered. Why? Because every corporate asshole right now is running around screaming authentic leadership. It's really important that we have authentic leadership. It's really important that we actually live who we say we're going to be in work, because this is what the young little millennials and employees need. And I want to scream at these people to go, for fuck's sake, man, like, you should be just an authentic human being genuinely. Look, I'm a pretty polarizing personality, and I'm very aware of it.
Could have never guessed.
And I try to, I'm very conscious of sort of my audience and stuff. But one of the things that I've always stood very proud of is one of the principles is I'm probably the most raw, authentic person. What you see is what you get, right? And it's jeopardized me in some capacity. It's caused business challenges in some issue. It's created friendship issues in some capacity. But, our friend...
Wait, not so fast. I'm going to also argue it brought you business.
But it did. It wasn't all bad. And it's you got to go through you got to be willing to deal with some of the fallout in order to reap some of the reward. And, our good friend Peter, who was the guy that actually introduced us, I'll never forget what he said. He said, at the end of the day, people that have opinions are attractive, right? Whether you agree with the opinion, disagree with the opinion, whether you like the person or don't like the person, you'll definitely respect the person for having an opinion, right? And that quote sat with me for a while. So Neil, let's switch gears a little bit. I know you got some stuff on your list. You got some knowledge to drop. You got some wisdom to share.
I'm going to tell you a story about prison.
Yes. So thank you for going there, because I do want to talk about this.
My next project is a mobile app to see if I can change prison recidivism. So instead of telling you about the app and blah, 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 I'll tell you how I met my co-founder. Now that's there's a different word here. It's not partner, it's the word co-founder. So,
and I'm assuming the partnership on a financial, however it's been brokered, is not equal.
No, it is not equal by any stretch. So, but I wrote a book called I'm There For You, Baby, The Entrepreneur's Guide to the Galaxy. And there's 220 rules in it. And rule number 3 is probably one of the most important. Rule 3 says you need to go to all the meetings and all the events, in particular, the ones that you are sure are a total waste of time. So here's the story. It's a longer story, but I'm only interested in the single piece. I spent some time in prison in the summer of 2016, teaching, listening and learning about entrepreneurship.
By the way, I just have to pause you for a second. That you are an excellent storyteller, because you just said, I spent some time in prison, 2016, big pause, audience went, oh, and then you drop the bomb, teaching and delivering and da-da-da-da-da. Right? So,
my wife would have hoped I'd stayed overnight. But
anyway, so go on. So you're working in the prison, teaching and coaching and mentoring.
So that's July. It's a longer story, and maybe I'll tell that another time we talk. But comes July, and then it gets to September, October of 2016. My wife is running for the city council. That's the 2016 race. And she's at an event. And at this event, she meets a guy whose name is Dr. Alan Mobley. And she says, yada, yada, and he says, I teach at San Diego State University. I have a PhD. I'm in charge of their criminology department and reentry. She says, you ought to talk to my husband. He spent some time. He's interested in this. So she says, you need to call this guy. Now, here's the first rule. I know it's a total waste of time. There's nothing going to come of it, but I'm always good for $20 and a cheap sushi lunch. So I say, okay. He comes. I can see the restaurant from my office where we sat. And he sits down. We order. And he starts to eat. And he tells the story. He says he was 19, Orange County, was in college, I think University, UC Irvine, University of California at Irvine. And he meets a girl. All good stories start with he meets a girl. And he goes to meet this girl's family. This girl lives in Colombia, like South America, Colombia, not Colombia, Maryland. And turns out this woman's family is the Medellin. They are the cartel in Colombia. And he, from 1980 to 1984, becomes the largest cocaine dealer in the country. Now, this is an important distinction. I'm going to tell you about this guy because one time I'm introducing him and I say, he was the largest cocaine dealer I said, one of the largest cocaine dealers in the country. He says, no, I wasn't one of, I was the.
And what's his name?
Anyway, it's the Reagan era. He gets tossed. He gets a 45-year sentence. They're going to lock him up forever. Over that course of 10 years, he finishes colleges, gets a master, pleads with a judge, gets out, gets a PhD, and becomes the driving force in California for prison recidivism and prison reform. Because now watch, I said he's a co-founder because while I'm a well-meaning character, he's the real deal. So you need domain expertise. I'm kind of a white middle-class Jewish. It's nice. You want to change the world, but you don't know shit about prison. So for the past 3 years, he and I have been teaching at Donovan State Prison. So I've got some cred. Here's the best part of the story. You never know where a good idea is going to come from. We're teaching, and we have a class of 15 of I call my favorite felons. And it's a 7-week class. And on week 4, I'm walking towards the end of the day, and I say, hey, listen, shitheels, when you get out, is there a one-stop shopping? Is there a marketplace where you can get all the stuff you need other than, where's the closest In-N-Out burger? They say, no, there's no such organized facility, like a two-sided marketplace. That's not possible. They say, So Dr. Mobley and I, we go do some homework, come back, and we say, you know what? You're right. There isn't. And so over the past year, we've developed essentially a marketplace of NGOs and customers. And we got to deal with Apple, and we're moving the ball. But what makes it legitimate is that while I know a lot about business and tech and finance and marketing and crap like that, unless I had my co-founder who had really done time, who knew who the customer really was, it would be an exercise in futility. Right. So I guess I'd end with, it isn't so much a partner as it is a co-founder with certain kinds of domain expertise that you, the founder, might not have.
Let me ask you another question. When in all of your partnerships, have you been the majority owner?
Yeah, that's interesting. Although I built a lot of real estate. Before I was tech, I built almost 2 million square feet of real estate. A couple of hotels, 2 offices, a parking garage, apartments. And in real estate development, you're not the majority owner. The guy who put up the money is the majority owner. You might be the managing partner. It's funny. I'm not sure that ownership is the same as leadership.
Definitely not.
You can be, you don't have to own 50. This 51% is insanity. You don't need to own 51%. If you can't lead by persuasion of the quality of the idea. So unless it is compelling and you lead people not by owning more of it, but by having a shared view of where you're going. And
shared values.
I agree.
Very cool. All right. We are going to have to do a part 2 because I think we've just started to scratch the surface, but this was awesome today, man. Neil, thank you so much for coming on, sharing your thoughts, your wisdom, your stories. Your stories are the best. I do want to ask you one final question. So what stage is the app at? Because last we left off, you said something very colorful, which is you're about to go have a meeting. And if it goes well, amazing. And if not, fuck it, you're going to do it yourself.
I'm not sure that I can do this. It may be more complicated, but what I did, here's the way to say it. The most dangerous person in the room is the person who has nothing to lose. So there's a company that I want something from this company. And I had been politely dancing. So the other day we have another call, and essentially what I say is, if you don't do this, I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go a different direction. It's a little bit of the drawing a line in the sand. And my advice when I coach is this. You got to know when to draw a line in the sand. You got to know how close to the ocean to put it, because maybe it has to get washed away. But there is, especially in the tech racket, there's this thing called FOMO, FOMO, which is fear of missing out.
Most younger generations have that.
If you keep dancing, as long as we can dance, I don't have to make a decision, we'll dance. And finally you say, look, pal, listen, motherfucker, you either yay or nay. And then you're stuck with, well, so I have friends of mine, I have a friend of mine, ironically, who had the chance, he said he had a chance to do X, or he could have been employee number 9 at Facebook. He picked X. He sort of kicks himself. In life, who knows? You don't know. But man, the FOMO rule, which is, I don't want to miss it. You get a lot of yeses from that. We'll see what the guy says. I mean, and that's part of the story, which is, I told him that I have all of this. I don't exactly have all. I got some. I don't know exactly. There's some of it. But as far as you're concerned, I have all of this. So it's a little bit of a...
It's a Hail Mary. And, that's what entrepreneurship is about. It's about the risk. It's about the story. It's about the vision. It's about going for it. It's about getting people to join you in your journey. And it's tough, and again, hopefully we're doing this authentically and genuinely along the way.
Yeah, I believe in that. I think the way I'd say it, my view is I put a gun to his head, but I'm not sure there's bullets in it.
That's good. Maybe a BB gun. Okay, Neil, we're definitely going to have to do this again. Just tell the audience where they can find you if they want to get in touch with you.
I'm Neil, Neil, at Blackbird V, BLACKBIRD, and then the letter V like Victor, only the letter, Neil at blackbirdv.com. And it's easy to find my last name. Go to Google and there's a whole bunch of formerly incarcerated pictures of me. So.
Amazing. Man, we're definitely going to have to follow this up again. And I'm just going to walk us out. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you had an awesome time listening to us today. If you like the show, don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to share. And Neil, we will get your information posted because I think there's a lot of people that want to talk to you. Neil, thank you so much. We will talk to you soon.
Thank you. You were wonderful. My pleasure. Good luck
Cheers.
to all.
Hey, I'm Greg Witz. Thanks so much for coming and checking out the video. If you like that video, you're going to love the next one. So I'd highly suggest that you click this video over here. And don't forget to subscribe and share.